Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Swati and we are discussing William Shakespeare. In the previous 5 videos, we have covered all of his 37 plays and we talked about the important characters of those plays. We have discussed the summary of all 37 plays. We have discussed the important quotations in all those 37 plays. We have discussed the clowns, the servants, the comic interludes and all those things, and of course we have talked about important questions and the questions that they have asked in previous year net exam. So in short, we have covered Shakespeare in a very good manner, and I hope you are making your notes, because only your notes can help you crack this exam. Because I feel that no other people can help you as much as your own notes can. So if you have not started making your notes yet, make sure you do that. Make sure you write your notes. Make sure you use colored pens, maybe use sticky notes and all those things. Just make sure you understand your notes the best. So we have talked about William Shakespeare's play. Now in this video, we'll talk about his poems. Now, if Shakespeare was not a playwright, if he would not have, been a famous playwright, he would have definitely been a famous poet. Because other than writing those beautiful plays, he has written some beautiful poetries as well. Some sonnets, some poetry and all those things. So we'll talk about them now. So Shakespeare has written a few poems. So the first one of them is Venus and Adonis. Venus and Adonis was written in 1593. And it was written in the sesta rima. Sesta rima is a rhyme scheme. There are many of them. We'll talk about all of them in a separate video where we will talk about these literary terms. So he has written Venus and Adonis in sesta rima, and it was written in 1593. Actually, Venus and Adonis is taken from Ovid's Metamorphoses. The inspiration is Ovid's Metamorphoses, and it describes the unsuccessful seduction of a handsome young man, Adonis, by Venus. Venus is actually the goddess of love, and she was in love with this handsome guy by the name of Adonis, and she tried hard to seduce him. She bombarded Sally of kisses on him. She tried to use her charm on him, but nothing worked out. She was just not able to seduce him at all. So eventually Adonis died. He was killed by a wild boar, and his body melts away, leaving behind a flower. His body melts away, leaving behind a flower, which Venus wear in her bosom. So now Adonis has died and his body just disappeared, disposed, but a flower is left behind him, and Venus took it and now she wears it on her bosom. So this is the summary of the very famous Venus and Adonis, written by William Shakespeare in 1593. This was the first poem of William Shakespeare. Second would be Rape of Lucrece. Rape of Lucrece, Lucrece. Lucrece is actually the name of a lady, and it was written in 1594. This poetry is has also taken its inspiration from Ovid's work. And the stories of Lucrece, she is a virtuous noblewoman, and she is actually raped by son of King Tarquin, Sextus Tarquinius. She was raped by Sextus Tarquinius. Sextus Tarquinius was actually a friend of Lucrene's husband. Lucrene's husband. So when her husband and her father arrived, she told them that Sextus Tarquinius has raped me, and when they heard about this, they got very furious and they wanted to take revenge, and Lucrece also wanted that. She wanted whole of his family to be uprooted, and that is what happened. But before that, Lucrece stabbed herself and she died, but her husband and her father made sure that Sextus and his family, Tarquin family, have no clue left of them. They just remove them from the face of map. So this is a story of rape of Lucrece. Then the next poem is by the name of Phoenix and Turtle. Phoenix and Turtle is actually the story of these two animals only, and the story and the theme is that eventually they died and both became one in love. Both became one after they died and they were in love. So this is the story of Phoenix and Turtle. Next is Lover's Complaint. Lover's Complaint narrates the story of young woman who laments over her seduction by a persuasive, womanizing young man. He eventually leaves her and breaks her heart. This is the story of Lover's Complaint. Now moving on, Shakespeare has written a number of sonnets. He has written some sonnets, and they're just by the name of sonnets, and they were written in 1594. So this was a number that 1594 sonnets he has written, and 154 in number. They are 154 in number. So sonnet from number 1 to 126, they are dedicated to some Mr. W.H. They are dedicated to Mr. W.H. and sonnet number 127 to 154, they are dedicated to a dark lady. Their actual name are not revealed in the work. They are not mentioned in his sonnets, but he has dedicated these sonnets to Mr. W.H. and a dark lady. Also, it's been said that these dedications are less to person and more to the feminine and the masculine side of human beings. So Mr. W.H. represent a man, a masculine character, creature. So those sonnets, they might be representing the masculine characteristics, and the sonnet dedicated to a black lady might be indicating feminine characteristics. So instead of taking them that way, we can take it in this way as well. Now the rhyme scheme of Shakespeare's sonnet are A B A B, C D C D, E F E F G G. A B A B, C D C D, E F E F and G G. We talked about these rhyme schemes. I did tell you that it started with Petrarchan sonnet, and Petrarchan sonnet were more of A B B A, A B B A, C D E, C D E, and Spenserian sonnet were more of A B A B, B C B C, C D C D, E E. So these were the rhyme schemes, and Shakespeare's sonnet are more of A B A B, C D C D, E F E F, G G. So these were his sonnets. Now the question that they have asked is that there is this sonnet number 30, and the title of Marcel Proust's novel Remembrance of Things Past is taken from sonnet number 30. Marcel Proust is actually a writer, and he has written this work Remembrance of Things Past, and it is said that, not just said, it is true that he has taken this title from sonnet number 30. Then there is this quote from one of the sonnet, and that is, "When my love swears that she is made of truth, I do believe her. When my love swears that she is made of truth, I do believe her. Thou I know she lies. Thou I know that she lies." So in this line, the writer, the poet, the sonneteer, William Shakespeare, is saying that when my love says that she is made of truth, that she is telling the truth, when my girlfriend or my lover says that she is telling the truth, I believe her, even though I know that she is lying. So maybe that's love. And this is from sonnet number 138. These lines are from sonnet number 138. He has written another sonnet with the name of True Love, and it is also one of the sonnet. So this was about William Shakespeare's sonnet, and he wrote these sonnets as well. So that was about the sonnets written by William Shakespeare. Now before ending this video, I would like to mention some questions that they have asked about Shakespeare, which we have not discussed yet. So the first mention of Shakespeare's work can be found in Palladius Tamia. Palladius Tamia, and the spelling would be Palladius, Palladius Tamia, Tamia. Palladius Tamia was the first is the first work where the mention of William Shakespeare's work can be found. And I did tell you that his first collection of work was published in 1623 with the name of First Folio. The second question that they asked was about the work with the name What Happens in Hamlet. What Happens in Hamlet, and this work was written by Dover Wilson. What Happens in Hamlet was written by Dover, D-O-V-E-R, Dover Wilson, W-I-L-S-O-N, Wilson. Next question that they have asked is about Lord Lamberlane's Man. Now these Lord Lamberlane's Man, it was actually the acting troupe, the acting group with which William Shakespeare worked. So before becoming an actor, before becoming a writer, he was an actor, and he worked with Lord Lamberlane's troupe, Man. Next is the work Shakespeare's Language. Shakespeare's Language, and it was written by Frank Kermode. Frank Kermode, spelling would be Frank, F-R-A-N-K, Frank Kermode, K-E-R-M-O-D-E. So Shakespeare's Language was written by Frank Kermode, and Shakespeare began writing in 1589. We all know that. The next question would be the play Shakespearean Tragedy, the work. The work Shakespearean Tragedy was written by A.C. Bradley. A.C. Bradley is a critic, we'll talk about him later. So he has written Shakespearean Tragedy. A.C. Bradley has written that. Also, they have asked this question many times about the arrangement of his events in his tragedy. So the correct order is that first of all exposition happens. Exposition is like the telling of the affair, state of affair. Then the conflict happens. There are two contrasting or two controversial incidents or two controversial people come up and a conflict happens. So first exposition, when the atmosphere is laid out, then the conflict, then the climax happened. What happened, a good thing or bad thing, or how the protagonist reacted, or who all died. So a climax, and then the denouncement, and then the play settles onto something. So this is the series that exposition takes place first of all. After exposition, conflict takes place, then a climax, and then denouement that happens. Also, William Shakespeare has acted in few of the plays, and he has acted in two of Ben Jonson's plays. We'll talk about Ben Jonson in maybe the next video. So in Ben Jonson's play Every Man in His Humor, he has acted in Every Man in His Humor. It's a comic play. And also he has acted in Sejanus, S-E-J-A-N-U-S. Sejanus was a tragedy, and he acted in Every Man in His Humor and Sejanus, so a comedy and a tragedy. These were the questions that they have asked about William Shakespeare. I have tried to cover all of them actually. So this is how they can ask questions, this is how you are supposed to prepare, and this is how you are supposed to make your notes. So I try to make it as useful and as easy as I can. If you still have any doubts, and if you feel that you have some suggestions from me, make sure you make them reach to me, drop them in the comment section, or maybe just text me somewhere. And if you feel that these videos are helpful and you are learning something, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and of course share them with your friends. And I have got the suggestion that next I should start with maybe criticism, literary criticism. So I would start with literary criticism or world literature, because there is not enough material on world literature, and the dimension of world literature are so vast that you feel you cannot cover them, because we have American, we have Indian, we have Canadian, Colombian, German, diaspora, we have all those things. So I would either make the next video on world literature or on literary criticism. If you feel if you want me to make something first and something later, also make sure to let me know about that. And thank you so much. Have a good day.